Hello, it's a beautiful day, finally, here in southwest Louisiana. It's actually cold. I'm going to tell you about one of my new, fairly recently discovered personal heroes, I guess, and probably an inspiration to quite a lot of people, especially those of Hispanic heritage. Even though I don't look it, I have a lot of Hispanic heritage from Mexico. I do watch a lot of Hispanic Netflix. Really enjoy novellas, which are soapy, sort of soap opera type, but they're more action than our American soap operas could think about doing. And I read subtitles quite quickly, so that's how I pick up on Spanish. But I came across one, and I forgot even how I started watching it. It just looked interesting. It was called Mariposa de Barrio. And a mariposa is a butterfly. So it basically in English it would be hood butterfly, the hood butterfly. And here comes a train to drown me out. So I started watching it, and it was really good. And it also brought it back. Now, there we go. Hopefully you can still hear me. So anyway, I started watching the series. And it's very, and I just finished it this morning. It's pretty intense, but it's also pretty inspiring because she is a woman of faith. I mean, her life was not perfect. At a young age, she had a abusive older boyfriend, which I can relate to. But she also went on to through struggles, even a suicide attempt at that young age, and just later on, she also had she was quite young when she had her first child, but she came on all over. She overcame all that to become one of the most famous regional Mexican music style singers ever. She was from Long Beach, California. She was a Mexican American. She was born in America. Her music, though, mainly was in Spanish. And she sold out like the Staples Center, the Nokia Theater, and other places. So, and she also would go over the border of Mexico and sing. So she, from struggling from totally disadvantaged to becoming famous and an inspiration. And this is her biography, which I'm almost done with. It's called Unbreakable. And this woman was unbreakable. She relied on God, and her strength came from God. Like I said, her life was not perfect. She struggled just like anybody else. But in the end, she relied on God. Now, she was killed in a plane crash right after her concert in December of 2012. And her final words she was talking to the press after that final concert in Monterrey, Mexico. And they were asking her questions about things going on in her life. The press gave her a hard time, as the press gives everybody a hard time. Her final words were, "I can't get caught up in the negative because that destroys you. Perhaps trying to move away from my problems and focus on the positive is the best I can do. I am a woman like any other, and ugly things happen to me like any other woman. The number of times I have fallen down is the number of times I have gotten up." And that is her last words to the public before boarding that plane, who a lot of people believe was purposely done because her life had been threatened when coming into Mexico to do music. But she refused to bow to the threats on her being kidnapped, the usual thing. And there's a quote here that's really good. "Expect to give, don't expect to receive. You will be a happier person. I love to give. I love to make people happy." And she did give a lot. She donated money to help children and abused women. She has the Jenny Love Foundation is still a thing. Her children help run that, and her children are still out there doing things. Some are in music. Her daughter Jackie has some beautiful gospel songs in Spanish. Her whole family is still into kind of entertainment mostly, or art. But if you don't mind reading subtitles, I would watch that Netflix series. I don't mind reading subtitles because I read like the whole sentence at a time. I'm one of those people that, I don't have to be very, look at each word. But I'm not big on when they have the, what's that called, dubbing with the language you're used to hearing. I don't like that because it doesn't follow their lips, but some people don't mind it. But this book is very good. Throughout the book, she talks about all the things that happened to her that were negative, but the positive attitude of overcoming the bad marriage, abuse that happened to her children. She was even raped one time on her way home. Someone followed her. All these things that would just make most people just wallow in their own pity, or just because they're so bad, not, you would pity them, or, just be down. And no, not this woman. No. She rose above all the obstacles, but she always gave thanks to God for what she had and for overcoming, because she knew she wouldn't have that without God. Her brother is also a minister, and their family are good Christians. Not perfect, like any, just like I'm not perfect. Because a lot of times when people say, oh, they're Christians, they're a good family, but if the person hasn't been perfect the whole time, well, they automatically, look at them in the wrong way. Well, everybody's human. Not everyone's perfect. The whole point of Jesus dying for us is so we know that we have someone to turn to that saved us, even when we mess up. So I highly recommend Unbreakable, My Story, My Way by Jenni Rivera, the official autobiography. It was written before the time frame that led to her passing away after her concert. Also, I recommend that Netflix series. And then there's lots of YouTube videos out there with her in them. A lot of them are in Spanish, some are in English. And I take a lot of inspiration from her. It just amazes me, how she overcame all these things, these obstacles, to become the most beloved, what they call banda. But she did do a few other songs that weren't exactly banda music.